Hi, I'm Joe Roth. At New Jersey Sharing Network, we're committed to saving and enhancing people's lives through organ and tissue donation and informing people about our life-saving mission. That's why we're proud to support programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Oscar Health Insurance, PNC Bank, New Jersey Sharing Network, dedicated to saving lives through organ and tissue donation, Bergen Community College, New Jersey Resources, Johnson & Johnson, and by Kessler Foundation, changing the lives of people with disabilities. Promotional support provided by The Record, North Jersey's trusted source, and NorthJersey.com. And by Politicker NJ.
This is One-on-One.
When you first heard that they were doing Charlie Rose and Gayle King, didn't you go, what?
People like laughing at others, so I don't mind if the other is me.
See, you go right into the character. That's what it is.
I'm bringing families together a half an hour each week. Man, I'm doing something special.
And so I do feel successful.
Welcome to One-on-One. I'm Steve Adubato. It is my honor, my pleasure to introduce Samantha Rizzuto, who is founder and president of an organization called STEMCAM, a senior academy for math, science, and engineering at Morris Hills High School. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks.
And you were 2014 Governor's Jefferson Award winner. So for people who don't know what that means, tell everyone.
So the Jefferson Awards is an opportunity to recognize someone who's doing something specifically for their community that benefits either a small group or a large group, and I was nominated by one of my past teachers for starting STEMCAM.
STEMCAM is?
It stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, through building confidence, changing attitudes, and mentoring programs. And it's a great hands-on opportunity for young students to learn math and science in a totally unconventional way.
Where'd you even come up with this idea?
Well, I was a teacher helper when I was in 4th grade, and I realized how powerful it was being an older student helping with younger students, and how they look up to older peers because they think that you're cool and they want to be just like you. So I love math and science. It was a passion of mine, and I really wanted to instill it in other young students before stereotypes come in and make it too dorky or too geeky, or I'm a girl so I can't do it. So I decided to use the power of being an older student, but still a student that can relate to these young students, and use that to my advantage to help teach.
Now, the kids who are in STEMCAM, is it 2nd through 5th grade?
Yes, that's our target audience. However, we have worked with students as young as kindergarten, and I've done middle school assemblies as well.
Tell us what goes on, I mean, so people can really get a picture of it.
Well, typically we start off with an icebreaker and some questioning to get the juices flowing, and then we have a small lecture. I'll discuss and introduce the topic for the day, followed by an engineering challenge or some sort of hands-on science experiment so that students can really engage with the material at a different level.
I'm curious about this. The idea of coming up with this, how did you go from the idea to implementation?
It was challenging, particularly because I started when I was a sophomore in high school, so it's difficult to ask an adult, hey, can you leave me with 25 students who are between 2nd and 5th grade? And it's just going to be myself and a couple of my high school friends. So that was a challenge that we really had to overcome. But I started by asking librarians, hey, can I run an after-school program? It's totally free, and it's a passion of mine, and I would really love the opportunity. And then from one library saying yes, word of mouth traveled across libraries, and we've had programs in 7 different libraries now.
Give me one significant benefit that you feel the students have taken away from this.
By having the opportunity to engage outside of the classroom with the material, hands-on, really being self-motivated and asking yourself questions, learning to engineer, all of these hands-on experiences are something really special that you don't always have time to have in a conventional classroom. So I think that's really key.
You know, the other thing in the middle of all this, I'm reading your background. It says, oh yeah, by the way, Samantha is involved with the Miss America organization. Where does that fit into this?
Well, STEMCAM was something I started because it's my passion and because I'd love to teach students. However, because of my involvement with Miss America, I've had the opportunity to broaden it to such a bigger scope, and it's
Look
had
at a picture of you right
much
there and
bigger
Senator Cory
impact.
Booker.
Yes, that was actually at the Jefferson Awards. He was helping me put on my crown. But my platform for the Miss America organization is actually STEMCAM, and balancing the equation, getting more girls involved in STEM, but encouraging America's youth as a whole, because we really do need more math and science professionals.
Wait, your platform for Miss
Yes.
America is promoting science, technology, engineering, and math.
Yes.
What kind of reaction have you gotten from the other Miss America participants?
Well, Miss America has actually shifted that this is something that the program on a national level is really starting to advocate. One, because it's empowering to young women, and two, because this is the future. Math and science is so key in our military, in our technological advancements, and everything that we do. It's really key. So it's becoming greater for job opportunities, and because it's so empowering to women, Miss America has backed it fully. And that's something that the other contestants have actually been really encouraging with me, and they've wanted to jump on board.
Pageants get a bad rap?
Sometimes, unfortunately, yes, but Miss America is just such a great organization. I actually received a full tuition scholarship through my involvement with the teen program. So I advocate it, and I like to break stereotypes clearly. So I love talking about the Miss America program.
It's interesting to me. You're clearly a leader.
Yes.
You're a trailblazer. Mind if I ask you a question about leadership?
No, go for it.
What is the most significant lesson you learned about leadership in your vast career already? What is it?
It's important to take into consideration your audience and who you're leading, who you're really trying to reach, because I communicate with 2nd to 5th graders much differently than I communicate with teachers and parents of those students. So it's always key not to push your own agenda, but to really take into consideration what the people who you're trying to lead are looking for.
You have to know your audience.
Yes.
What's the game plan after this for you?
I'm going to Auburn University next year, so graduation's, well, Miss New Jersey's first, then graduation, then off to college. I'm majoring in physics in college, and then I'd like to work for the U.S. military.
I bet you're going to have a great career and make a difference in the lives of a lot of people.
Thank
And
you.
we wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
You're one of the 2014 Governor's Jefferson awardees, and that is why it's such a great honor to see people like yourself, particularly young people, making a difference. So congratulations, Samantha Rizzuto.
Thank you so much.
And all the best with STEMCAM.
Thank you.
Stay right there. We'll be right back right after this. Congratulations.
Visit us online at steveadubato.org. Email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/SteveAdubato, and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
We're here with Tom Marino. I'm not sure we'd be here without Tom Marino. I'm
sure you would.
No, I got to ask you. You're wearing the Joe Torre Safe at Home Foundation, but Tom, as the co-CEO of this organization for a long time, what has this event been like for you, particularly knowing where the dollars go?
Hey, we've been blessed both as a firm and as individuals to be able to accomplish what we have. It's time to give back. And I can't think of two better causes than Joe Torre Safe at Home and the Special Warriors Foundation. We're proud to be part of that. We're proud to have them here every year, and we'll raise as much money as we can for them.
It's so interesting. When you pick foundations, right, when you pick charities, explain to folks, I mean, the Torre connection, Joe was talking about the connection that he has with the firm. But those children and those women, you know, the victims of domestic violence, then we'll talk about the children of the soldiers who have been lost. What do they mean to you?
Everything. I mean, we see it close up. We see the passion that Joe brings to his kids, Joe's kids. We've seen at his events the kids there and how they benefited.
Joe's golf outings.
Joe's golf outings and Joe's gala, where you get to meet the kids. You get to see what we're accomplishing. And then the Special Warriors, every year somebody's going to show up here, and it'll bring tears to your eyes as far as what they've been through and the sacrifice they've made for their country. It's helping them out with a scholarship is the best thing you can do. Two great foundations, charities.
Sorry for interrupting. What Tom is talking about is we've had many of the students, the children of these extraordinary soldiers who have lost their lives. They've come here to this outing, the CohnReznick outing, and they've told their story. They've told their story about how they would not have been able to go to college. They would not have been able to pursue their education if it were not for the dollars raised by this foundation. And that just
it touches you. If you don't,
reminds us why we're here.
If you don't feel that, you have no feelings whatsoever. I mean, one year they had a young woman on who was the daughter of the Navy SEAL. If you watch The Perfect Storm,
Yes.
he jumped off the helicopter to try to rescue. It was lost. I mean, she brought tears to everybody's eyes because she would have never been able to go to school. And now she's a graduate, and she's fulfilled her dreams in life. And we helped a little bit do that for her. So,
Yeah, Tom and I have had this. Tom and I had this conversation. I remember we interviewed Tom after Hurricane Sandy, because so many of the folks at CohnReznick from down the Jersey Shore area suffered, in other areas as well. We've had this ongoing conversation about the role of CEOs, the role of corporate leaders, the role of, frankly, of corporations to be helpful beyond the bottom line, actually in the community. This is something you've taken seriously. Your co-CEO, Ken Baggett, and the incoming CEO, Frank Lombardi, take seriously. The entire team. That's why CohnReznick Cares was created. Just frankly talk about that.
it's all about kids. Our foundation is dedicated to many, many kids' charities. One of the partners who started it was really my former partner, Mike Cohn, is recently retired. He's raised over $1 million for Make-A-Wish himself through Bolatons. We like to get the staff involved because it engages them with the community, but there's a lot more charities than that, and virtually all of them revolve around kids. I don't think there's a better cause. A lot of good causes in the world, but kids, that's what it's all about here.
Final question, Tom. I asked Joe Torre this. I'm going to ask you the same thing. It's not baseball, trust me. I know you want to talk baseball. Tom loves his baseball. Greatest lesson you've learned about leadership in your few years, particularly at the top of the firm? Greatest lesson in leadership is?
I think I learned it from you, Steve.
I think we're in trouble.
I think when you said, if you want to be like, get a dog, was one of the greatest lessons. You know, I think it's more the real.
Hold on, I said this at a seminar one time at the firm. Go ahead.
I think really what I've learned is you have to tell the people what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. And if you build the trust, they'll follow you for a long time. 18 years with me, which is a long, long time to be CEO. But I think it came from trust. It came from telling it like it is, good and bad. And that's a good life's lesson.
A quick follow-up on that. I've often said, what Tom's referring to is I do a fair amount of leadership coaching, executive coaching at the firm, helping people become better leaders and communicators. I've often talked about it, if you want to really be popular all the time, you shouldn't try to be in a leadership position.
You shouldn't try it. But you know, one of the people I model myself after is Joe.
Why is that?
We picked him because of his...
As a spokesperson.
As a spokesperson, because of his leadership skills, because of the trust he builds with people, because of the success he has, and because of the class he brings to the table. I mean, when he heard I was stepping down, he actually, called and asked me what I was going to be doing. I asked him if there was anything open in the commissioner's office. He said, not for you, but I mean...
That's the job you wanted.
That's the job I wanted. No, he shows me what a leader is. And he's led a number of teams. He led as a ball player. And he personifies what a leader is.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Steve.
Visit us online at steveadubato.org. Email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/SteveAdubato, and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
We are pleased to be joined by Dr. Luke Partyka, who is Section Chief of Mammography, Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey Breast Health Center at Newark, Beth Israel Medical Center. Good to see you, Doctor.
Very good to be here.
We're taping this program in mid-September 2015. In October 2015, this center is opening. Describe it and why it's so important.
Well, the center is important for many reasons. First and foremost, in our population in Newark, we do see a lot of advanced stage breast cancer, especially as compared with the national averages. So this is an important issue in Newark, in the greater Newark area. Also at Newark Beth Israel, we have seen our community outreach programs really increasing the utilization of mammography. Patients are starting to seek out that early detection of breast cancer. And so we got to a point where we were operating at approximately 95% capacity of where we were able to. Thanks to a generous donation from the New Jersey Healthcare Foundation, we were able to relocate our services to a new area. And the new breast center has many features that are an upgrade over our prior operation.
Help me on this. 3D mammography?
Correct.
What does that mean and why is it so important?
Okay, there's several reasons. First, I'll explain what exactly 3D mammography is. So your standard mammogram is a two-dimensional image, basically a single black and white picture. With a 3D mammogram, it's different for the radiologist interpreting. For the patient, it's basically the same process, okay? Except instead of a single image being taken, the X-ray tube that does the picture taking per se does about a 15-degree sweep, okay, and takes several low-dose images. Those images are then reconstructed by a computer, and this allows us to look at something we call a 3D image, which basically means we can go through the different breast tissues, sort of like paper-thin slices, looking at different sections of the breast in a sequential fashion. A lot of people liken this to sort of a flip book that you would see. A 2D mammogram would be like looking at just the cover of the book. 3D mammogram would allow you to actually flip through the pages of the book and see the different parts.
How does that help you in terms of diagnosis?
Well, it makes really a significant difference for two reasons. First and foremost, the normal breast tissues can sometimes get in the way of finding small invasive cancers. This is particularly problematic in women with dense breasts. So if you're doing a standard 2D mammogram, that cancer might be hidden by the normal tissues. However,
by the way, does everyone who come in get the 3D?
Yes. Actually, everyone, we moved to screening everybody with 3D mammography.
That's unique.
Yes, it really is. Newark, Beth Israel was one of the first adopters of this technology back in 2012. We initially only had one machine, so we were offering it on a sort of a diagnostic basis. Okay, if patients had problems and we needed to do the 3D mammogram to do additional evaluation. However, since that time, as part of opening this new breast center, we got a second tomosynthesis machine. That's sort of the technical term for 3D mammography. And since that time, we basically began offering screening to all of our patients. So everyone that comes in to get a screening mammogram at Newark Beth Israel has a mammogram with this technology.
And has the potential, once you have the diagnosis, that you may not otherwise be able to achieve with the two-dimensional picture, what potential impact, doctor, is there in terms of the protocol and the treatment?
Well, the impact is great because we know that survival after a diagnosis of breast cancer plummets once you're diagnosed with late-stage disease. And the beautiful thing about 3D mammography is that it allows us to detect these small invasive cancers significantly earlier than we would be able to with 2D mammography. We're talking about 30% increased cancer detection rate with 3D mammography over standard 2D, and that's a pretty significant number.
Describe the physical setting of the center. What is it like and why does that matter?
Well, when we were designing this center in the process of looking at all the different elements of it, we really wanted to focus on the patient care aspect of it. So the center is designed to sort of get away from the typical hospital medical setting, okay? We wanted this to be a really comforting setting for the patients. Being recalled for an abnormal finding on a mammogram is a high-stress situation for a woman. So we really wanted this to be patient-centered to make this experience as easy as possible for our women coming in to have their additional evaluations. So we focused on making the atmosphere very gentle and spa-like and very comforting in the center.
It matters.
It matters a great deal.
The other thing that matters is the partnership with the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, and to fully disclose, the Healthcare Foundation is an underwriter of a lot of the healthcare programming that we do at the Caucus Educational Corporation, and they've supported much of what we've done. What is that partnership like?
Well, the partnership has been tremendous for Beth Israel, and in particular for our radiology department. The Healthcare Foundation was instrumental in getting this breast center opened, and without their generous donations, this would not be possible.
How did you get into this?
Well, I started out as a radiology resident, and radiology is a very, very broad specialty. I was fortunate to have really good mentors in the subspecialties relating to breast imaging. This was a part of radiology where you really get to make a difference. You meet with the patients, you speak with the patients. Sometimes radiologists, people think you just read x-rays. In the field of mammography, you're examining patients, you're doing ultrasounds, you're communicating with patients, you're having sometimes very sensitive discussions. There's a real humanistic aspect to it that kind of drew me towards that.
Well, listen, it is important work, and particularly in the city of Newark, where, to be very clear, women diagnosed with breast cancer, they're being diagnosed at a much higher rate than the national average.
Correct.
They're being diagnosed later,
Correct.
which is problematic, because the sooner women are diagnosed, the better. They're being diagnosed younger,
Absolutely.
problematic. And so this Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey Breast Center at Newark Beth Israel Medical Center is huge. And so, Doctor, I want to thank you for joining us and sharing the development of this. And as it continues to move forward, we'll keep talking about it. Thank you, Dr. Partyka.
Sounds great. Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back right after this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Visit us online at steveadubato.org. Email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/SteveAdubato, and follow us on Twitter at SteveAdubato.
We're here at the Iovino family. They have won one of the Shining Star Awards. You're the reason. It's your fault for all the right reasons. Do me a favor. Introduce everyone in the family. Tell everyone who they are.
Sure, Steve. I'm Anthony Iovino, my lovely wife, Rebecca.
Hello.
Son, Anthony. And
I'm Joe. Yep.
And Rebecca, in 2006, you had a stroke. And what were you doing at the time?
I was down sleeping. Yeah. I was sleeping, and then I got up and said, I can't speak.
You can't speak.
Yeah.
But you were working together at the time.
that's great. Rebecca was working at my office.
You're architects?
Yes, yeah. And so she was working with me at the time, and then, after the stroke, the aphasia basically keeps her from communicating with the clients. So fortunately, she's able to stay home. We can afford that, luckily, and more importantly, this place is so close to our home.
What has this center meant for you? Because you help out here.
Well, I really I like the people. I like talking with people and sharing stuff, and we do jewelry and stuff like that. It helps me out, and it helps them out.
Guys, let me ask you. You were pretty young. You're young now, but you were even younger at the time. How did it change your lives? And the other part of it is, how proud are you of your mom?
Oh, well, to answer second part first, we're immensely proud of our mother. She's achieved so much from the stroke to now. It's really amazing to see how much she's done. And
we were very young. We were like 9 and 7, and when it happened, we didn't really know much about it, even what a stroke was or aphasia. And so the center's helped us learn about that condition and how we're not alone in it. There's so many people that have it, and it's just a great community.
What's the center done for the whole family? I mean, the boys are so eloquent about it, and obviously, Rebecca, you work with Something Special, which is the Something Special operation is great. You'll get some video of it that'll roll in while we're talking. Our daughter Olivia, who is 5 and she is here, she loves jewelry. She'll be in there working as well tonight. But what has the center done for the family?
Well, the most important thing, I think, is that it's giving Rebecca the confidence and the skills to speak. When you have a stroke and you have aphasia, you want to turn in and stay away from people because you can't communicate. This is a great sense of community, a great family. So it's given her confidence and, I think, us support.
How? Describe for people who don't understand it. How? What goes on?
Well, here, it's two things for Rebecca, right? It's the refining the skills to speak, but then also having the community. There's so many members here that if you didn't know them, you wouldn't know they had a stroke, right? You wouldn't know Rebecca had a stroke if you didn't talk with them.
Not at all.
Right? And that comes from the confidence to be out here and not to hide. And when she feels good about it, we feel good about it, right? So it gives us confidence to survive, right?
You got a great smile, and I want to ask you this, Rebecca. What would you say to other people who are dealing with aphasia and think, there's no hope for me, there's nothing that I can do about it, and you don't see it that way, do you?
I think we can, they can come here, come here and
Why is it great? Why is it great here?
it's great.
It's great. And by the way, that jewelry, is that from something special?
Yeah.
It better be.
It is. Yeah, she makes all the glass
These,
herself. And,
these are my,
You made those.
yeah.
Well, you're smiling big time.
Oh yeah, it's one of the greatest things. Just the like it's fantastic. The stuff that she does, and I never expected any of this to happen.
Your brother wants to jump in.
Yeah. It's a creative outlet that you can use your hands in, so it helps her develop dexterity as well as it's beautiful.
And it gives her a sense of purpose, Steve. And I think that's what the center does for people. That you're around other people that are in the same boat, so to speak, and it makes them feel better about it. It makes them understand that that person is doing better. I know I can do better.
Well, it is clear why the Iovino family is our shining star recipient. There are two families tonight. We'll meet the other family in just a little bit, but we want to thank you. We want to congratulate you for being someone that inspires all of us. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep making beautiful jewelry with that beautiful smile, and you have a wonderful family. Congratulations.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Oscar Health Insurance, PNC Bank, New Jersey Sharing Network, Bergen Community College, New Jersey Resources, Johnson & Johnson, and by Kessler Foundation. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.
Hi, I'm Peter Rooney. In 2006, I lost my father to renal disease. He was on the waiting list for a new kidney, but did not receive one in time. Unfortunately, so many like my father have lost their lives while waiting for a life-saving organ. At New Jersey Sharing Network, we're committed to saving and enhancing people's lives through organ and tissue donation and by informing people about this important decision. Because you can make a difference and save a life.